A very good morning to all of you. I welcome you all to Baji Rao IAS Academy. Today is 1st July 2023. We have certain important articles in the Hindu newspaper which will be very helpful for your UPSC preparation. So let's move into the articles. The quotation of the day is a little progress each day adds up to big results. So, if you are working for something, if you are trying for the big exam, or if you are working to achieve in your business or in your personal life, whatever you do, whatever you dream you possess, to achieve the dream, to pursue the dream, you should have the dedication to work hard on your dreams. You should work regularly so that on daily basis you should add on your knowledge, add on your capacity to possess that success. So even a little change can make a difference in your ultimate success. So try to do hard work with dedication on daily basis. Ultimately, one day you all will get success. This is the yesterday's question. Consider the following statement. The Constitution of India classifies the ministers into four ranks. That is, Cabinet Minister, Minister of State with independent charge, Minister of State, and Deputy Minister. This is the first statement. Second statement is the total number of ministers in the union government, including the Prime Minister, shall not exceed 15% of the total number of members in the Lok Sabha. Which one of the following is the correct statement? You all know, guys, even though we have classification regarding the ministers, but this classification is not classified in the Constitution of India. It is all basically a convention, and it may be mentioned in the rule of procedure, but it is not mentioned in the Constitution. So the first statement is wrong, and the second statement is correct. So the answer for this question is option B. It is two only. So the answer is two only. And this is today's question. Among the following crops, which one is the most important anthropogenic source of both methane and nitrous oxide? Option A, cotton. Option B, rice. Option C, sugarcane. Option D, wheat. You guys please try to give answer for this question in comment section. We will we will give answer in the tomorrow's discussion. Okay, guys. Today we have three important articles, guys, and I compiled these two articles because the two articles are related to the same matter. It is the government governor's action in the Tamil Nadu. What the governor did? The governor did he dismissed the minister from the Council of Ministers without taking the Council of Ministers aid and advice. So this has become the very critical issue. Many people are saying this is an constitutional breach, and we will look at this discussion from the constitutional provision perspective, and also we will compare the Government of India Act 1935 and also um the constitution itself. And third article and next article is all about the India Africa relation. So we have totally two articles today. We will discuss it in a very short period of time. So this is the first article and the second article. In this, what happened? What is the recent trend going on in Tamil Nadu? You all know, guys, Enforcement Directorate has arrested the minister Sendil Balaji. Because of his arrest, the portfolio allotted to him, that is the electrics portfolio, has been taken away from the Sendil Balaji. Even though the portfolio has been taken from the Sendil Balaji, but still Sendil Balaji has been allowed to continue as a minister in the Council of Ministers without any portfolio. Are you all getting me? Yes, Sendil Balaji is still a minister, but he don't have any portfolio. This is the Tamil Nadu government's order or proposal. But what happened? The governor thought that because the Sendil Balaji possessing the ministership post, the justice or the investigation is not becoming fair to the governor. So the governor want to remove or dismiss the Sendil Balaji from the Council of Ministers. So governor unilaterally took the decision without taking aid and advice from the Tamil Nadu government, that is Tamil Nadu Council of Ministers. He took the decision with his discretionary power. he dismissed the Sindhil Balaji from Council of Ministers. Now what happened? After a few hours, he got advice from the Union Home Minister, that there is something problem with this order, so he want to withdraw that order. So after a few hours, the governor has again issued a GO, government order, that he is withholding that previous order of dismissing the Sendil Balaji, on the ground that he want to consult this matter with the Attorney General of India. So all this process has started a new debate in the political arena of Tamil Nadu. Now, see guys, we have constitution. In constitution, it is clearly mentioned in the Article 164, there shall be the Council of Minister who will be appointed by the governor. First, the chief minister will be appointed by the governor, and based on the advice of the chief minister, the other ministers will also be appointed. So, it is basically the discretion of the chief minister to decide who want to handle the which portfolio, and how many council of ministers will be there. Well, the constitution of the council of ministers will be wholly decided by the chief minister. Are you all getting me, guys? Yes, it is the constitutional provision. Now, what the author is saying here, if you see in the article 153, 163, and 164 of the constitution, it is saying that the governor should act on the council of ministers aid and advice. That is the appointment or dismiss, whatever the thing regarding the ministers, it should be done based on the advice of the chief ministers and the other minister. He should not do anything unilaterally. uh, if you see, if the governor do this thing unilaterally, then this will ultimately affect the federal system of our democracy. You all know, guys, we have the division of power. Under the federalism, we have division of power. Under this, state government controls the state list subject, central government controls the central list subject. Governor is just a nominal head. Here it is, they are clearly mentioning governor is just a constitutional head. If you see the under Article 164, the constitution has clearly said chief minister is appointed by the governor without any advice from anyone, but he appoints the individual minister only on the advice of the chief minister. So I will get, this is the very clear point, guys. It is mentioned in the constitution, and also the article implies that governor cannot appoint an individual minister according to his discretion. So logically, they are saying governor can dismiss a minister only on the advice of the chief minister, not on his own discretion. Now, the author has tried to compare the constitution with the Government of India Act 1935. What it has mentioned in the Government of India Act 1935? If you see Section 51 and subsection 1 of Government of India Act 1935, it says the governor has the power to summon, appoint, dismiss the minister according to his own discretion and according to his own pleasure. Are you all getting me, guys? Yes, the Government of India Act 1935 has been passed during the colonial regime. Under the colonial regime, there was the governor who is the very powerful person in India. He decides who want to handle the which portfolio, and according to his pleasure, the people will continue as the minister. So this is during the colonial regime. And also there is another one section, section 5 of the subsection 5 of the section 51. It says that based on the governor's discretion, he can summon, dismiss, or appoint any person as the minister. So basically, in the colonial regime, the governor possesses the discretion. But in the case of independence India, we have the constitution which envisages the power to different people. It clearly states that it is not the discretion of the governor, it is the ultimately the power on the advice of the Council of Ministers. Based on the Council of Ministers' advice only, the governor should act. The governor should not act on his own. So the author is saying from the two subsection, that is Article 51 first subsection, Section 51 first subsection, and the section subsection 5. The both, it is very clear During colonial rule, the governor got the discretion power, but in the independent India, the governor does not possess any discretionary power regarding the dismiss of the minister. Yes, you see the constitutional provision in the mere constitution. In the constitution, the governor is just a constitutional head. The executive actions, whatever taken in the state, will be taken in the name of the governor. But the governor will not act on his discretion. He want to act on the aid and advice of the governor, aid and advice of the council of minister. You can say in the article 164 it has been mentioned a minister can hold office during the pleasure of the governor, but the term pleasure of the governor, it indicates that it is not the pleasure of the governor he himself, it is the pleasure of the chief minister and the pleasure of the council of ministers, because governor cannot act independently, he want to act according to the Council of Ministers advice. So here the pleasure of the governor means it is indirectly saying that is the pleasure of the Council of Minister and the Chief Minister. Then why the Constitution has mentioned the governor? Basically, you see, we have adopted most of the provisions from the Government of India Act 1935 into our Constitution. While they are copying or while they are taking the provision from the Government of India Act 1935 to the Constitution of India, in the Constituent Assembly, they clearly mentioned that they want to mention that governor possesses the power, but it doesn't mean it is the governor's power. It is ultimately the council of ministers power. Governor is just a mere constitutional head, and he doesn't possess any discretionary power. Even in the Constituent Assembly, our Honorable B.R. Ambedkar sir had stated that unambiguously in the Constituent Assembly that executive function which a governor can perform is there is nothing is independently performed by the governor under the Constitution. Are you all getting me, guys? Because the governor has no independent powers for himself to perform under the Constitution. So choosing a minister and dismissing him are no longer within this discretion. It is the chief minister who chooses the minister. It is the chief minister who recommends the removal of a minister. If you see the Government of India 1935 and the Constitution of India, while formulating the our constitution, we try to take the provision from the Government of India. While we are taking the provision from Government of India to the Constitution, we while drafting our constitution, voluntarily we left these words like choose and dismissal, discretion. These kind of words were unambiguously they were omitted from the Government of India Act because they want to give power to the elected representatives, not the nominated representative. You all know, guys, governor is a nominated representative, but there is the chief minister and other council of ministers who are the elected representatives. Our Constitution Assembly want to empower the elected members, not the nominated members. So ultimately, if you even if you compare the Government of India Act and the Constitution of India, while we are drafting the Constitution of India, we ourselves, as clearly mentioned, that we are not giving any description for the Governor of India. It is the ultimately the chief ministers of the state and the council of ministers of the state who possess the power to give aid and advice to the governor, and the governor should act ultimately on that advice. He should not be acting on his own discretion. So that's it, guys. Yeah, there is also the judicial interpretations we also want to see. If you see in the Shamsher Singh and state of Punjab, in that Supreme Court has insisted that even though some exceptional situations, governor have discretion power, like when chief minister died or when the chief minister resigned, he can choose the any other person who want to become chief minister. So there are some provisions regarding that governor may have discretion, but while dismissing the minister, it is not the governor's discretion. Governor should act on the advice of council of minister. And also the same judgment has been again reiterated in the other case also, that is Nabom Rebia versus deputy speaker. In this the Supreme Court again reiterated that discretionary power of the governors are limited to already mentioned in that Article 163 subclass 1. So there are some discretionary powers for the governor which has been already mentioned in the constitution. Beyond that, governor don't have any scope for himself to possess the discretionary power. So that's all, guys. This is the second article. A new chapter in the India Africa ties can be written. You all know, guys, the trend in the world is changing. We all are become the multipolar world. If you see the African continent, it is still a developing region. They have many problems with them, challenges, and they have many internal security problems, and also they possess the very economic opportunity, market opportunity. So the all outer regions, the external countries are trying to create influence over the African continent. And also here the author is saying how the India want to improve our India-Africa relations. So let's move into the article, guys. If you see the African continent, the Africa is in they are changing in the last few years. If you see the past 15 years, the African internal structure and their importance has been growing simultaneously. Even in the African region, we have certain countries, they follow the democratic government and they are very peaceful. And also, if you see, the Africa possesses the very big economic opportunity for other nations. It possesses the market, it possesses the resources, and it possesses the very cheap labors. So, the other nations who possess the colonial attitude, especially US, UK, the European Union whole, and China, Japan, Turkey in this case, these all people want to increase their influence in the African continent. Especially if you see the China has very good influencing power in the Africa. Near about in the last 5 years, there have been many official meet between the African continent and the Chinese government. So the China has played a very big role in the Africa as an infrastructure developer, the resource provider, and the financier. Basically, on these aspects, China has tried to play very good diplomacy with the African continent. Now, it is the time for the New Delhi government to look into the different perspectives of diplomatic relations with the African continent so that we become very good friend of the African continent. Now, what is the solution the author is suggesting here? There are four solutions suggested by the author here. First, he want India to develop the political and diplomatic cooperation. In under this political and diplomatic cooperation, he has given many solutions. We want to act over these things. First, he want to say that we want to restore the leaders summit through the medium of India Africa Forum Summit. If you see, we have the forum, India Africa Forum, but the last summit was conducted in the 2015. After that, we not conducted the India Africa Forum Summit. So he want this to be again restarted. And after that, we also should start the strategic dialogue between the chairperson of African Union and the India's external affairs minister. He want that this strategic dialogue should started from the 2023. And also you know, guys, our Prime Minister Modi ji has persuaded the G20 group to give membership for the African Union. So here the author is saying we should give the African Union G20 membership so that our soft diplomacy towards African Union will be in a better position. And also he said we have a separate secretary under the Ministry of External Affairs exclusively for the African affairs. Because if we have the separate secretary, then it will ultimately enhance our cooperation and the implementation of our policies regarding the Africa. So this is the first solution what the author has suggested. And what is the second solution? He is saying we need to improve our defense and security cooperation. We want to enhance our military related trainings and military related exercises. And also he want to say we want to expand our dialogue on defense issues. And also we should enhance our maritime collaboration, because you all know, guys, Africa is a very big coastline and we should ensure the maritime collaboration with the African nations, because to overcome the piracy we need the African countries help. And He's also saying in case of defense export, we should allot them the lines of credit. And what the author is saying, we want to increase the number of defense training slots and enhance the cooperation in counterterrorism, cybersecurity, and emerging technologies. You all know, guys, these are the threat the India is also facing. The India want to create a solution for this. So our India should work along with the Africa in all these threat perspective so that our defense cooperation can be enhanced. What is the third perspective the author want to say? Economic and development cooperation. You know, guys, India Africa trade, they just touched the $98 billion for the financial year 2022-2023. See, even though it is the encouraging, it is a good change. We have touched the 98 billion, but this is not the very good trade points if you compare with the China. China is the largest trading partner with the African countries. So we want to encourage our economic development with this India Africa. We also want to create the Africa Growth Fund. So with this fund, we can empower the economic diplomacy with the African Union. And also, the author is saying we should create a special package to improve the project so that we can improve our export. And also, we want to create the shipping lane and the shipping infrastructure in the African countries. So because of all these aspects, we can improve our trade relations with the African Union. And also the author is saying we should give the special focus on the trilateral cooperation and deepening science and technology cooperation. You all know, guys, now the world is moving towards the science and technology, especially the artificial intelligence, big data analytics. So the author is saying here we want to encourage the cooperation between the India and Africa regarding this scientific developments. So this is the third step what the author has suggested, and the last final step what he said, socio-cultural cooperation. He is saying that we want to increase the interaction between the people and people. We should provide the opportunities for the civil society, media, think tank, universities to interact between both the countries and both the continents so that our relation with the African Union will be better. And also, the author is saying the visa related provisions should be liberalized for the African citizens so that the African citizens move into our India and they seek some job opportunities. So this is the fourth perspective what the author has tried to say. So that's it, guys. Today, this is the news articles we have encountered in the Hindu newspaper. Thank you so much for listening our analysis. If you like the video, please press the like button. If you want to suggest me something, please give it in the comment section. And don't forget to press the subscribe button. Along with it, also touch the bell icon button so that you get all notification whenever we post any video to you. So that's it. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. Nice.